Honeybees are small, social insects belonging to the family Apidae and are best known for their production of honey and their role in pollination. The most well-known species, the western honeybee, Apis mellifera, has been domesticated for thousands of years, but there are many species of honeybees across the world. Honeybees are relatively small insects, measuring about 15 millimeters in length. Their bodies are divided into three main parts: the head, thorax, and abdomen. They are covered in fine hairs that help collect pollen and have a distinctive yellow and black stripe pattern, though the colors can vary slightly depending on the species. Honeybees have two large compound eyes on the sides of their head, allowing them to see ultraviolet light, and three smaller ocelli, simple eyes, on top of their head to detect light intensity. Their mandibles are used for manipulating wax and cutting pollen, while their proboscis is a long, tube-like tongue that they use to sip nectar from flowers. Honeybees have 6 legs and 2 pairs of transparent wings that enable them to fly at speeds of up to 15 miles per hour. Honeybees are eusocial insects, meaning they live in highly organized colonies with a strict division of labor. Each colony consists of one queen, a few hundred drones, and thousands of worker bees. The queen's primary role is to lay eggs, producing up to 2,000 eggs per day during the peak of the season. The drone's sole purpose is to mate with queens from other colonies, and they die soon after mating. The worker bees are all female but do not reproduce. Instead, they take on a variety of tasks within the hive, such as foraging for food, tending to the queen and larvae, building honeycomb, and defending the colony. Worker bees progress through different roles as they age, starting with housekeeping duties inside the hive and eventually becoming foragers, the final and most dangerous job. The honeybee life cycle starts with an egg, which hatches into a larva after 3 days. Worker bees feed the larvae a substance called royal jelly for the first few days, after which they switch to feeding them a mixture of honey and pollen. However, larvae destined to become queens are fed royal jelly throughout their development. After about 8 days, the larvae spin a cocoon and enter the pupal stage, where they undergo metamorphosis. Depending on their caste, the development time varies. Queens emerge in about 16 days, workers in 21 days, and drones in 24 days. The queen bee's lifespan can last several years, while worker bees live about 6 weeks during the busy summer months, and drones live only a few weeks. Honeybees play a vital role in pollination, which is essential for the reproduction of many flowering plants. As they forage for nectar, they transfer pollen from one flower to another, facilitating the fertilization process. Honeybees are especially important for the pollination of many agricultural crops, such as almonds, apples, blueberries, and cucumbers. They are responsible for pollinating about 75% of the crops that humans consume, making them crucial to global food production. When honeybees visit flowers, they collect nectar and store it in a special stomach called the honey sac. During this process, pollen sticks to the bee's hairy body and is transferred to the next flower it visits. Honeybees also deliberately collect pollen, which they store in special pollen baskets on their hind legs to bring back to the hive. One of the most famous traits of honeybees is their ability to produce honey. After collecting nectar from flowers, honeybees return to the hive and pass the nectar to other worker bees, who chew it and expose it to enzymes that break down the sugars. The nectar is then stored in honeycomb cells and fanned by the bees' wings to evaporate excess water, eventually turning into honey. The bees seal the cells with wax once the honey is ready, and it serves as a crucial food source for the colony, especially during the winter months when foraging is not possible. Honeybees have a sophisticated method of communication known as the waggle dance, which is used by forager bees to inform others about the location of food sources. The waggle dance involves a specific pattern of movements that conveys the distance, direction, and quality of the food source. For example, the angle of the dance relative to the sun indicates the direction, while the duration of the waggle portion of the dance indicates how far away the food is. This form of communication allows honeybees to efficiently find and exploit food sources over large distances. Honeybees also communicate using pheromones, which are chemicals that trigger social responses within the colony. The queen emits a queen pheromone that helps maintain colony cohesion and suppresses the development of worker ovaries. Workers release alarm pheromones when the hive is threatened, which signals other bees to defend the colony. Honeybees are equipped with a stinger, which they use to defend the hive from predators such as bears, skunks, and even humans. The stinger is barbed, so when a honeybee stings a mammal, it becomes lodged in the skin and tears away from the bee's body, killing the bee. However, the venom from the sting can deter predators from attacking the hive. Worker bees are most likely to sting when they perceive a direct threat to the colony. Honeybee populations have been under threat in recent years due to a phenomenon known as colony collapse disorder, CCD, where worker bees abandon the hive, leaving the queen and immature bees behind. The exact cause of CCD is unclear, but it is believed to be related to factors such as pesticide exposure, habitat loss, parasites like the varroa mite, and diseases. Efforts to conserve honeybee populations include reducing the use of harmful pesticides, planting bee-friendly flowers, and supporting sustainable beekeeping practices. Honeybees are not only important for producing honey but also play a crucial role in maintaining biodiversity and supporting food production through pollination. Their complex social structure, communication methods, and ability to adapt to different environments make them fascinating and vital creatures in the natural world. As threats to their populations continue to rise, the importance of protecting honeybees cannot be overstated.